I am happy to be broadcasting from the left coast with Reid Mihalko of readaboutsex.com right here at his workshop space, Fruitopia. Tell us about your sex educator work that you do.
I do a lot of different things. Mostly what I do is I work with men and women across the country, lots of different demographics, trying to give people permission and come up with kooky, zany ideas to get people talking in more empowered ways about sex and relationships.
Where do you think that this shame comes from in these families? People come to you wanting to learn about how to open up their sexuality because they don't have access to that otherwise. What do you think is happening in our culture?
Well, the Cuddle Party was a really good project because what it did was it became this conversation in America and in other countries about why is it that Americans specifically, or adults in general, aren't touching more. And we live in a culture now where, for a lot of us, it's really super easy to work your 40, 50 hours a week and then go home either to nobody or a roommate who's totally weird, or a relationship where you're not getting a lot of affection or touch or even sex. So, we live in a culture where there's more and more touch starvation, which is actually a medical term, and skin hunger. That completely maps onto sexuality and people's love lives. And if, for whatever reason, if you grew up in a generation where we focused a lot on bad touch, show us on the doll where they touched you, Johnny. Our culture, if you haven't noticed, doesn't really talk a lot about good touch. And so for those of us who are just trying to do a really good job in culture and in society, like we're walking around trying not to, do anything that's bad touch, and we're not trying to, break any of the laws around sexual harassment in our workplace. And then we go home and we're just kind of crippled, so to speak. And then for those of us who grew up in families where boundaries and communication skills weren't role modeled properly, the world gets really scary.